Magistrates Court for allegedly attacking a homeless man. Malusi Mothupi allegedly tried to kill the homeless man in Sunnyside in May. Just last month, 5 homeless men were murdered in a space of just 3 weeks in Muckleneuk, Pretoria East. However, the National Prosecuting Authority says there's no evidence linking Mothupi to those other murders.
40-year-old Malusi Mothupi, accused of stabbing a homeless man 2 months ago. Little is known about Mothupi as police investigations continue. He had no legal representative and asked for legal aid. The state requested more time to verify his address and profile.
He has given the state an address in Hamatlala, which must be confirmed by the investigating officer for purposes of bail application. That will be heard sometime next week.
News of 5 murdered homeless people within a space of just 3 weeks last month sent shockwaves through the country. They were allegedly stabbed to death, sparking fears that a serial killer was on the loose. But the NPA believes Mothupi is not the killer.
We don't have any information within this docket that links him to the killings of the homeless persons.
He will be reappearing here at the same court on the 8th of July.
Mothupi was initially arrested last week Tuesday in connection with the attempted murder of another homeless man in February this year. The NPA cited insufficient evidence to prosecute him, but police still kept him in custody. He was then charged on a new attempted murder case relating to a separate incident.
The person was arrested on Friday, so we are well within the 48 hours as prescribed by the law. Hence, we could not place the matter that was brought on Friday due to the fact that the 48-hour period has lapsed. So it would have been unlawful to bring a person before court way after 48 hours has lapsed.
Meanwhile, authorities have urged homeless people in the capital to be vigilant over fears that the killer of the other 5 homeless people last month may still be on the prowl. Patricia Visagie, SABC News in Pretoria.
All right, we're joined by Patricia Visagie now. So after that court appearance, the NPA saying there's no link. How can they be so sure? Remind us.
Good afternoon, Francis. Certainly, it seems like there's not 100% clarity in terms of what exactly the police and the NPA are dealing here with. And just to prove that is the fact that the 40-year-old Malusi Mothupi was arrested last week, Tuesday, on a separate case relating to, of course, attempted murder. It is alleged that at the time he apparently had stabbed another homeless man, and this apparently happened in February this year, but subsequently he never appeared in court. And of course there already was a problem because he was supposed to appear in court within 48 hours as it is prescribed by the law, and he didn't. And today when we got to the magistrate court, there was a whole long wait until the NPA ultimately said they now have a new docket, and he was then officially charged, but on a completely separate matter. Them telling us that they actually now have a new case. He is linked to a stabbing that happened in May. So it seems like there's already a lot of confusion, a lot of glitches, but the NPA made it very clear that they're not 100% ruling out that he is not exactly, linked to these killings that have been making the rounds here in the capital city. But at this stage, they can't link him to these particular killings, and they have no evidence. So it is really, I think, a case that needs to be dealt with sensitivity, and the police apparently are doing all they can trying to get to the bottom of this and fast track all the investigations. So it might be that in the coming weeks we might hear a different story, but now the NPA is saying that this is a complicated matter, and they don't want to, of course, be wrong wrong by prosecuting the 40-year-old. They need to get all their ducks in the row. They need to get the right information, and they need to go to court with a case that is watertight if it is him indeed. But for now, the only thing that they can charge him on is the attempted murder case that's linked to the stabbing that happened in May.
So are you saying right now there are no real suspects linked to the spate of killings of homeless people in Pretoria?
The NPA and, of course, the police saying that they don't have any suspect at this stage. Investigations are continuing, and again highlighting that although in the beginning it did come across as if Mothupi may have been the person that they've been looking for, but they don't have any evidence, and saying that, this case takes time. They're still waiting for DNA results, and also, appealing to everybody to come forward with information. So there's a lot of information that is, of course, doing the rounds, and I think the important part that they highlighted very strongly is that they would not want a situation where, they make this big pronouncement to the public saying that he is, in fact, the suspect, or rather the killer behind the spree of murders that have been, sending shockwaves throughout the capital city and the rest of the country. They don't want to pin it down on him, only for the DNA results to then come out later and prove a complete different story. And of course, that you would know would put the police in particular in a very bad picture, their integrity, credibility, and it would be another case of police that have, of course, destroyed a big case that could have brought justice to perhaps the families of the 5 homeless people that we're still wondering who some of them may have been. So it seems like it is a very complicated case, but also we're hearing from other sources that it seems like the police are, on the verge of making a breakthrough, but the NPA saying that they want all the right steps and procedures to be followed. They cannot afford for a mishap to happen. They feel that this case must be dealt with sensitivity.
All right, Patricia Visagie, thank you very much, and we'll bring you any new news, possibly a serial killer, somebody targeting homeless people in Pretoria. Now, the wife of Stone Sizani will be